Well, hi. So we have been talking a lot about productivity, how to streamline things, be efficient, get things done, blocking out your schedule. So today we're going to kind of conclude this little segment by talking about, you got it, remote working. So interesting, right? How just a few years ago it would be unheard of, and now it's it's never going to go away. It's part of our culture. It's going to be exist from here on out. And I think there's a huge positives to having a balance between remote working and a hybrid sort of schedule. So there are those that can work remote. There are those that must be in person. And then I think there's a group of hybrid folks. So I'm a hybrid type of person. So I do work from home a couple of days a week and I go into the office. And some weeks I'm in the office every single day. Some weeks I can be home a little bit more. It just depends on the schedule and such, but that's part of the issue with remote working is how do we stay on top of that? So I'm going to give you my 3 tips for remote working. First thing is space. So I think it actually is really important that if you remote work, more than just like a day a week, it's something that is now built into your schedule, that you have a space that has all your office supplies. It's cleaned. It doesn't have your home things to do on it. It's really dedicated to your office space, to getting things done. Files, if you need them, the pens, the paper clips, the 3-hole punch, all the stuff in one place. You've got to be, remember we talked about clutter isn't good. You've got to be organized. So that's the first thing is create a welcoming space to work. It doesn't have to be a room. It can be a desk in the bedroom. It can be whatever space you've got, but you can make that little area with all the things that you need that to work efficiently remotely. Really important. Number two, if for your let's say we're going to just call this kind of monitoring working remotely. So whether you're monitoring yourself and doing a self-assessment or whether you're monitoring people that are reporting to you, it really is important to set expectations. So for example, what do I mean by that? So many of us, have meetings and such that you have to go to. And so when you're remote, you have to go to those meetings. And people have different rules about camera off, camera on. I'm not going to get into that. There's various theories about what you should do or not do, what's respectful, not respectful. You have to decide what you want and then make it clear to your team what the expectation is for Zoom meetings and such when you are doing remote. For me, to be honest with you, the expectation is camera is on, period. Camera is on. Maybe if you're having some internet difficulty or there's a couple things, but for the most part, I want the camera on when we're doing a Zoom meeting remotely. There is some people out there who turn them off, and they have their reasons for that. But for me, it does not work. I don't care for that. So, and I've got reasons for that. So, but anyway, you do you. The point is, set the expectations. Don't get angry at somebody for doing something that you have not set expectations for. So that's number one. Number two, I have actually always been a person, I've always had bosses actually who said, as long as you get the work done, I don't really care. Obviously, you have to come for what you need to come for, meet deadlines and that. And so I've always been like that. But again, you need to set expectations for yourself and for anyone who reports to you regarding remote work. Do they need to be on and available 9 to 5? And if yes, then it's yes. If it's not, if they can get things done at night or whenever at other times, then let them know what those parameters are. Many of us have jobs where people are needing to get in touch with us. And so somebody has to be available, be checking emails, to be taking calls, to be working with scheduling meetings during the day, whatever the case might be. So that's a really important thing to do is, again, this is all about kind of setting expectations about what is the balance between when can you get your work done. Because I do agree, it is sometimes convenient to be able to take a break and get this done for my home life. And then I come back and I'm doing my work until 7 o'clock at night, right? It's all about that work-life integration that we've discussed. So that's an important thing. Number three, what I'm going to talk about is about the importance of in-person interactions. So we do have a rule that new hires have to have the first 3 months on site so that they can meet with people in person, establish relationships, establish rapport, get to know somebody, know the physical space of where your colleagues are working, what's going on. That's important. And then especially if you're hybrid, it's really important that you do come in for certain events for that connection, maybe for some team morale sort of events, just making sure if you're the boss and you're making your team come in and you're not coming in, that doesn't look really good. So again, it's all about expectations, but I think that the in-person part is really important, unless of course you're fully remote. So that's also something to keep an eye on yourself and those that report to you. What is their presence in person? What is needed? What are your expectations? So super quick summing up 3 things. Remote work to be efficient, create a space that is conducive to working. Number 2, set expectations about what are the boundaries with remote work, and then monitor yourself and others. There are some people, I don't think there's that many, but there are some people that just can't do remote. They can't focus, they can't get things done. And if that's happening, then they can't do it. And you need to have an honest conversation. If that person is you, then have an honest conversation with yourself that you can't do it and you need to get your butt into the office to get things done. Only you know. Well, and probably your boss. So have those conversations, but set expectations. And then the third thing is the importance of maintaining a personal connection in person. Maybe I'm just old fashioned, but there is something to seeing people in person that can't completely be recreated on screen. So that's what I've got for you for remote working, being efficient and effective at that. And until then, we'll see you next time.